Tonight on the Night Team. A man is dead after a shooting in Fern Creek. His two brothers are now charged in connection to his death. Plus, following the shooting at a Russell Bar and Grill that left two women injured, an emergency suspension was ordered for Double Deuce Bar and Grill.
When they contacted me about suspending their license, I couldn't go against the grain with that.
Tonight, we're hearing from a Metro Council person who says she's been advocating for change at this exact spot for years. And later,
this is a substantial revenue boost that is being shouldered mainly by the residential customers.
LG&E says it wants more money from you, the customers, to protect our electric grid. What customers are left saying. Right now on the WHAS11 Night Team. A man was shot and killed in Fern Creek, and two of his brothers are now facing charges. Thanks for joining us here on the Night Team. I'm Alex Dieterer. This shooting happened around 3 this morning on Brettlinger Park Drive at a Fern Creek apartment complex. The victim was identified as 30-year-old Daryl E. Burnett Jr. LMPD found Burnett Jr., who had been shot in the head and right leg. He was taken to U of L Hospital, where he died a short time later from his injuries. 37-year-old Daryl R. Burnett has been charged with murder, while 36-year-old Kiera Page faces assault charges. LMPD confirmed all three are brothers. Officers say while in custody, Page gave a statement to investigators admitting to a fight with Burnett Jr. prior to shooting him in the leg. Both men are being held at Metro Corrections awaiting arraignment. The investigation is still ongoing. A West Louisville bar has had its permit suspended, and it's an action one Metro Council member says she's in support of. Double Deuce Sports Bar and Grill had an emergency suspension order placed on the business by Louisville Metro Alcoholic Beverage Control yesterday. This decision came after two women went to the hospital after being shot there Saturday morning. WHAS 11 Night Team's Clarice Shaley spoke with Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins, who says she hopes the owner learns from this.
Where West Broadway and 26th Street meet.
The series of things have happened here.
The most recent incident just this weekend when two women were shot inside Double Deuce Sports Bar and Grill.
Places like this have to be safe for patrons to come into. And when they're not, then that's when the city has to step in and do things like place suspensions on club owners like this.
Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins says she's received many calls about altercations taking place at the business. She says she's been advocating for improved safety in the area for years, and now she stands in front of the business, which is now closed due to an emergency suspension order.
Well, definitely not surprised.
The same day as the Saturday morning shooting that injured two women, Metro Alcoholic Beverage Control suspended Double Deuce Sports Bar and Grill's permit. Metro ABC Director Brad Silveria told us they remain committed to taking swift action when safety is at risk. Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins tells me she stands by Metro ABC for suspending their permit.
We can't be partners with businesses that allow those things to happen on the inside. I hope that it will grab the owner's attention.
Hawkins says she's tried to work with the owner to add lighting in the area.
And they still haven't done that. I myself connected the business owners with LG&E to get the process on what it would look like to put lighting on all of these poles. I feel like that at this point the city has done their due diligence.
She's also asked the business to have security, which she says they have done. Now consistent patrols are on her list to improve the area, which is now seeing pressure from Metro ABC. On West Broadway, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.
That shooting that took place yesterday morning is still under investigation. The office for the mayor said, quote, as part of Mayor Greenberg's Safe Louisville plan, we'll keep using new tools at our disposal, like ABC's swift action this weekend to crack down on businesses and conditions that create violence, end quote. We have reached out to the business but haven't heard back yet. Now to Meade County, where a pedestrian was hit and killed by a car on Dixie Highway this morning. This happened just before 6 this morning. Kentucky State Police say a sedan driven by 24-year-old Jordan Sanborn was traveling north on Dixie Highway and hit 34-year-old pedestrian Troy Jackson. Officers say Jackson died at the scene, while Sanborn was taken to a hospital and is expected to survive. KSP says this investigation is still ongoing. And a man is dead after a car crash Saturday morning. Jeffersontown police say 2 vehicles were involved in the crash that happened on Bunsen Parkway in J-Town. Police say 1 vehicle turned onto Bunsen Parkway and was hit by another vehicle traveling westbound. The 65-year-old driver was taken to the U of L hospital, where he later died from his injuries. Police say no other injuries were reported and no charges are expected in this accident. And a person is in the hospital after a residential fire in Middletown this morning. According to Anchorage Middletown Fire and EMS, the fire happened on Barcelona Drive just off of South English Station Road around 1 this morning. Firefighters say the fire was seen coming from the roof of the home. The person living there had left the home before firefighters arrived and received minor injuries, but is expected to survive. It took 34 firefighters around 40 minutes to put out the fire, and this cause of the fire still under investigation. An update tonight on the race to replace Senator Mitch McConnell. Candidate Daniel Cameron is now banking on his name recognition to overcome his lack of fundraising for the race. Newly released campaign finance reports show Daniel Cameron is trailing far behind his 2 opponents in fundraising efforts. Despite this, some polling shows his name is giving him a slight edge in the race. Cameron has yet to air a Senate campaign ad on TV, while both Barr and Morris have filled the screens with early commercials. Cameron previously worked as the senator's general counsel and has insisted he will have the resources to win. The question remains, though, if the former state attorney general and unsuccessful nominee for governor can raise enough money to keep the momentum going. On Wednesday, Barr and Cameron had a heated exchange on social media. Barr saying, quote, "You're stagnant, have no money, and you already blew 1 statewide race," end quote. Cameron responded by pointing to a recent Barr campaign poll acknowledging that Cameron was ahead, saying, quote, "Representative Barr put out a poll that confirms what everyone already knows. I'm the front runner," end quote. Nationwide and here locally, people across America flooded the streets for No Kings protests against the Trump administration on Saturday. Millions marched all day amid the ongoing government shutdown, immigration raids, and National Guard troops deploying to American cities. Major cities from Memphis to Washington, D.C., Atlanta to Charlotte, and of course, a city that's no stranger to calls for change right here in Louisville. But in the past few days, many Republican lawmakers have been condemning the protests, calling them anti-American. Today, House Speaker Mike Johnson responded to yesterday's protests.
But the irony of the message is pretty clear for everyone. If President Trump was a king, they would not have been able to engage in that free speech exercise out on the mall, by the way, which was open because President Trump hasn't closed it. In the last shutdown, 2013 era, President Obama closed the National Mall, it closed all the national parks, didn't allow people to engage in all this.
Despite Republicans condemning the protests, Americans of all ages and backgrounds made their way to the public square to peacefully voice their opinion. In Louisville, a veteran and his wife marched in opposition of the Trump administration.
I think there should be due process of law, and I don't think that is happening with President Trump.
We're setting an example for our granddaughters that it's good to be proud to be American.
The government shutdown is approaching its 4th week with still no end in sight. Mark Sanchez remains off air from his role at Fox Sports. The ex-football player will miss his 3rd week of games after recovering from being stabbed in an altercation earlier this month in Indianapolis. He still faces misdemeanor and felony battery charges from the incident. An affidavit alleges Sanchez smelled of alcohol when he physically assaulted 69-year-old truck driver Perry Toll over a parking dispute. When Sanchez entered Toll's truck without permission, he was sprayed with pepper spray, then stabbed out of self-defense. Toll is now suing Sanchez and Fox Sports. Fox has not made a statement regarding Sanchez and the incident, and a preliminary hearing is scheduled for this Wednesday in Marion County, Indiana. Well, an urgent manhunt is underway in France following a jewel heist at Paris's famed Louvre Museum. 4 suspects escaped on motorbikes after stealing some of France's crown jewels. ABC's Allison Cossack has the details.
The brazen heist completed in just minutes. Officials say at 9:30 a.m. local time, 4 men, disguised as construction workers, used this mechanical ladder to access the second-floor balcony of the Louvre. CCTV capturing 2 of the thieves using power tools to cut into the Apollo Gallery, where French Emperor Napoleon III's crown jewels were on display. Officials say the masked men moved efficiently, using small chainsaws to open display cases. The suspects allegedly threatening security guards, who then evacuated the museum. American tourists Jim and Joan Carpenter described the chaotic scene.
We didn't realize the whole museum was being evacuated. And then we asked a guard, and the guard said, "We're having technical difficulties."
Lots of confusion, lots of misdirection.
Officials claim the suspects targeted 9 pieces and stole 8 priceless items, including sets of sapphire and emerald necklaces and earrings, elaborate diamond brooches. Prosecutors say Napoleon's wife, Empress Eugenie's diamond-encrusted golden crown, which is nearly 200 years old, was recovered at the scene, reportedly damaged and left behind by the suspects as they escaped on motorbikes. Experts say it could prove challenging to recover the stolen items.
You're talking about stolen jewelry as opposed to stolen art and antiquities. It becomes much more difficult. These items, the stones can be recut and the settings can be melted down, and now you're just selling it as precious jewels and silver and gold.
French President Macron vowing to recover the stolen jewels and prosecute those involved, calling the heist an attack on French heritage. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.